Welcome to Awakening Table. We are Calliope and Petros, and we created this channel as a means to share our experience of going through the dark night of the soul currently, and doing this through open, raw discussion at the dinner table. We do this knowing others are going through it, and we hope sharing our experience may help you with your journey.
If you enjoy our videos and content, please show us some love by hitting like and subscribe and the notification bell to be notified when a new video is out. Thank you. Today we'll be talking about dark night of the soul and why we get stuck, resistance, outdated conditioning, still intellectualizing rather than feeling and shifting to heart.
Right, getting stuck. I don't know how many times I've gotten stuck, to be honest. I reckon more times than I can count or care to count. And it's interesting why we get stuck. Did you feel stuck at times, or do you still feel stuck at times?
Yes, many times, and sometimes still still get stuck. And then I question things, but I think that's part of the conditioning, and the resistance and stuff. So yeah, just being aware of it and working with it. So it can be annoying.
I think the best way to become unstuck, or to begin to become unstuck, is to understand why we become stuck in the first place. And I guess there's a number of things. There's the resistance to the initial changes we go through, resistance to everything we thought was our truth being, destroyed or crumbled up, whatever the case may be. There's conditioning from society, mainstream media, parents, family, school, work, all of these things which have led us to believe one thing, but those things are really not the truth. They're transient. They're not the true constant within us, I guess is the way to put it.
Yes.
And that can be very daunting and very destabilizing and uncomfortable.
Yeah. You don't realize how much you've been conditioned. Like, there's so many things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going through another layer. It's like, I just figured that out. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's another conditioning because, family upbringing, siblings, yourself, your friends, schooling, like Petros mentioned earlier, that plays a lot of effect in your life. So you don't realize how much there is and how much you have to work on.
And of course, all that conditioning means that when that conditioning is challenged or tried to be replaced, there is resistance, because the conditioning is what's felt right. It's what's felt comfortable and familiar, even though it's not necessarily maybe in our best interest or truth, which is what this whole dark night of the soul is about. It's about, letting go of the attachments to the untruths and finding ourselves in truth amongst it all. And then, of course, the other thing that adds to the stuckness, we've got the conditioning, which leads to resistance, which then also activates our need to intellectualize everything, to logically explain it away. And we're trying to intellectualize something that is more emotional and deeper or spiritual versus logical and, intellectual and all of that.
Yeah. And like, you don't realize how much maybe even like a family member or friend had stopped you from feeling a certain way because of your own personality. We all have a character, we all have a personality. So if I was told many times, you can't say this, can't do that, that's part of a conditioning, and that can play a big effect and in resistance as well. So, and then you avoid the heartfelt side of things. So yeah, play a big impact on your life.
Well, it just creates that stuckness with all the resistance and overwhelm, and you've got enough on your plate. If there's one thing I learned that can help you towards becoming unstuck and all of that, it's just to be aware where your resistance is, and where you're over intellectualizing things and avoiding the emotional aspects of it. It'll take practice, and it initially doesn't feel good. It takes time. I'll be completely transparent on this one. But I think if you can just, and I think if you can just start with the simple as being aware of where you're being resistant, or you're avoiding by hiding behind or putting in front the intellectual aspect of it all, If you can just develop that awareness, it's a big step towards overcoming all of that.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Uh,
it's a long road, trust me, because like we don't realize how much of the conditioning and how much we resisted from it, and that's going since the day we're born, pretty much. So it's a challenge.
yeah.
Mm,
It's saying to yourself, everything I've known all these years, most of it needs to be thrown out and it all needs to be rediscovered anew. And that's a lot, doesn't matter what age you are, that's a lot to
mm,
to to deal with. I
mm,
mean, just trying to figure out what the hell's going on for you is enough. Then, you know, admitting to all of that and facing what comes with all of that is pretty scary and challenging. But here's the flip side of it all is that you do the work, you do, one step in front of the other, as we've said in many of our videos. You get through it. How you come out of it in the end is just amazing, like beyond anything you can imagine right now.
mm.
By no means am I through it yet. I sort of started this journey a year ago, pretty much to the day, roughly a year and a month ago. I'm further along than what I was, and I can sort of get little snippets of what I'm heading towards, and it's something far greater than anything I could have imagined. Certainly a year ago. It's just my favorite word: patience. Bloody patience.
Patience.
Yeah, it's patience and just
Don't mess with it.
it's just one foot in front of the other, patiently just moving forward. And you know what? You're going to make mistakes. That's okay. Be
Yeah.
aware of that and learn from them.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, just learn from it, be aware of it. Sometimes it can be a struggle, like you say, if you're not used to doing certain things, like if you're not used to reading or going for walks, trying to make some differences in your life, like changing habits, and then that way you can improve on that. Sometimes you might, fall backwards because so many times that happened to me. I don't
Yeah.
know about yourself, but trust
Well,
me.
I've gone backwards many a times. Um, so many times, sometimes I feel like it's my new forward going backwards. But
Mm,
anyway, the other thing too is, you will be tested as well, and the setbacks will be tests from the universe, if I may put it that way. And sometimes, we fall into sort of that negative mindset, and we think, oh, the universe is punishing us. But if you think of it as the universe is training you and conditioning you,
mm,
and helping you to progress, because that's what it's about. It's not about perfection. Perfection is an illusion. It's all about progress.
mm,
Then when you do have those setbacks, you can look at them from a bit more of a positive perspective, which will help to get through these as as you go along, and however long it takes for you.
yeah.
Um,
I think every day is like an experience. Every day is a lesson. Every day you learn something new about yourself. Every day you're uncovering and deleting a conditioning part of yourself, and
yeah,
it's just being aware of it, like Petra said earlier, and
yeah,
making some progress.
yeah. So the best advice I can give you at my stage of where I'm at is just to be as aware as you possibly can of where you might have resistance, where you might be using intellect as an excuse to not face or feel what you know you should be facing and feeling.
Mm,
It's not to say intellect doesn't play any part at all. It's when it becomes more of a distraction and an avoidance tool, as opposed to a tool to work through, you know, the emotional aspect of things. As you go through the emotional aspect of it first. I don't
mm.
know if any of that just made sense, but if not, just put your comment in and I'll try and re-explain it. But I think you get the message
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah. Just
Um,
go with your feelings, go within. If you don't understand it, maybe set it aside until you understand it. Like sometimes we
yeah,
do set it aside. We do need that resistance to be aware of it again and then work on it. 'Cause we do have heart, we do have feelings, we do need to express ourselves. We all have a
mm,
personality, so
yep.
yeah, just relearning ourselves again.
And you're finding your new but truer personality, a personality that's linked to your, if I may use the overused catchphrase, authentic self,
Mm.
as opposed to the ego self. And so, just work through it, just patiently. If you've got people in your life you can talk to them. Talk to a professional if you have to,
Talk
but
amongst yourself.
talk amongst
It's okay,
yourself.
you're not crazy.
But it's important that you get used to sitting with your feelings and understanding them, And as you get more comfortable with that and you work through them, you'll understand what's behind them better. And that's where you learn more and more about what you truly need to be doing. But, if you're feeling stuck, check where's your resistance, where are you over intellectualizing and avoiding, and just manage on that. As I said, it's okay not to have answers. You can always go out and find answers. But just if you're feeling stuck, check on those two things. Where are you intellectualizing or over intellectualizing, and therefore causing resistance? What conditioned belief, if you will, or way of life is being challenged that you may need to review, that's causing the resistance, which is leading to the stuckness and all of that. Little things like that. And slowly in time, you'll get through it. You'll break it all down. You'll work through it, and you'll break through.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Well, if you've been stuck or are stuck, but something's working for you, let us know below in the comments. It may help someone else watching this. And we certainly love to know what ideas and insights you have as well. Other than that, hit the like button, the subscribe button, notification bell, share it with anyone, share this whole channel if you can with anyone you think might benefit from it. We'd love you for it and thank you in advance for it. Other than that, I think hope you enjoyed the video, and peace be with you.
Bye.
Bye.